Hello, welcome to another episode of Brantim Live. I'm your co-host Brandon E. Brooks. We have another amazing episode tonight with one of my actual favorite actors that's out there, one of the best in the land, in my opinion. But before we get to that, before Tim unpacks some business about the Atlantic City Celebrity Convention, I want to give a shout out to a longtime friend, Damon Feldman, and his celebrity boxing brand. He invited me this past Saturday night to his show at the Showboat in Atlantic City. And we appreciate the support. He actually had me come into the ring and speak a little bit about the convention, which was appreciated. And I just want to give a shout out to Damon. We're going to be working with Celebrity Boxing and him in conjunction with some experiences at our event with some of our guests. So again, we appreciate all the love from his Celebrity Boxing brand. Thank you, Damon. Tim?
All right. The first Ultimate VIP raffle that we did very well. The response was dope, so we decided to go ahead and do it again. But this time we're doing it differently, and we're going to offer that anybody from now until July 1st who purchases any ticket, whether it's a single day, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, that gets you one entry. And then if you purchase the 3-day pass, well, that gets you 3 entries into the raffle this time around for the same thing, which is the Ultimate VIP pass, a pair of them, which gets you into all the VIP after parties and even the Thursday kickoff party. Plus, so that's like 4 days worth of stuff there, and then the weekend pass obviously included, and and then a pair of Ultimate VIP limited edition T-shirts, which you can get autographed while you're there as well, since it's one of a kind. So obviously go to brantim.realms.tv or brantiment.com and get some weekend passes, get some photo ops. We just added, I believe, Frank Dietz and Christy Swanson's photo ops up there for sale. So if you're interested, please head over there. And we still have about 13 or so spaces for vendor spaces, and so make sure you hop on there and apply. So go to email Bianca at brantiment.com to apply to become a vendor at the con. And if you're a tattoo artist, we're still looking for those. We still have a space for a handful of those. And if you're interested in sponsoring, you can email Crystal with a K, RYSTLE at brantiment.com, or you can email Tim or Brandon at brantiment.com and get you set up with package with different tiers on there and being able to sponsor the con. So other than that, everything's going cool, and we do have some big announcements coming up real soon. We got some of the final contracts over the line, and we're just waiting on a couple more to announce this big little thing we got going on here. Anyway, go to brantiment.com or brantim.realms.tv.
Awesome. So again, like I just stated at the top of the show, tonight I'm very stoked because this actor is one that I followed for many, many years. Again, one of the most intense screen presences you'll find in a lot of amazing projects like True Detective right here, Westworld, one of my favorite independent films of all time, Joe right here. Welcome to Brantim Live, the amazing Ronnie Gene Blevins. There he is. Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah, how's it going?
Glad to have you here, my friend.
Awesome, man. Awesome to have you.
Happy to
Awesome.
I'm jealous of y'all's walls. Listen, I got this white wall here. I usually have hanging. I'm in the middle of moving my office around, so.
Awesome.
Okay. That's cool, man. Yeah, you gotta get a poster or something cool up there, like from some of your work.
Yeah, I know they're all downstairs, because
okay.
Office, so all my ego pieces exist downstairs, like in the.
So Ronnie, I always start out with asking this simple question, like, how did you get started in this crazy business? Everybody has a different story of kind of whether it was struggle or whatever it was, or if it was a funny story or whatever. But how did you get started? Was it at an early age, or what did you find a little later, or?
Well, I was definitely big into films from as far back as I can remember, and I was big into making home movies, but because I I don't know. I always say it's because I was, from Texas, but there was something about where I was, and where it just didn't seem like I always thought that actors and filmmakers were kind of the anointed ones. You know what I mean? I didn't even go as far out there that I never thought that was something that was a thing. So it was just like a pretty rabid hobby of mine is like the idea of just watching movies and making movies and I remember when I first the filmmaker that first blew me away was Spike Lee, right? And I think it was Do the Right Thing. And then I was at the library, and I remember seeing this book on the shelf where it had like a script, and that was my first time seeing a script. And at that time, they were playing "Do the Right Thing," and so I waited for it to come on. Back then you had to like and wait for it to come on, and then at any rate, so and so I was like reading the script and watching the movie, and then like it was kind of like this peek behind the curtain. Cut to graduate college. I go out into like and get some entry level job. And then I kind of, it was at that moment, like a month or two in, that I really understood the kind of the effect or the consequence of not doing something that you love. So I figured out what I didn't want to do, but I was still stuck with like what did I want to do? So I went to Europe, and kind of like a revelation, I just like the angels whispered into my ear, go to LA and be an actor. Now I'm 21 at the time. I don't have all I have now at this point is just like a love for movies and this like kind of like half-ass filmmaking at like 8th grade with a high camcorder. So I moved to LA based on kind of this idea. I now believe that it was probably like a past life that I've lived before, and I just came back to do it again, or like something in my subconscious. Like it was always there. The path was always there. It just needed to be taken. And so 22, moved to LA, don't know anyone. And then, so thankfully a guy said, hey, you need to go study at one of these 5 places. And I went to study. And greatest thing I did when I went to go study acting at 22 was I didn't have high expectations for myself. I said, you know what? I have a feeling that this is something that is gauged, that success is gauged in decades, not years. So let me just take my time to learn how to act. And I did that. I took all my 20s and studied with great teachers, and started working about probably in my 30s, like 32 maybe. So.
Okay, so in this acting journey of yours, like, well, I'm going to get to the phrase that I want to ask you about, but as you were studying and then you started booking, like, do you have anxiety or anything like that before you perform, or did you early on? Do you still have it? A lot of actors that I've talked to on this show, like, have expressed that, and that actually helps a lot of people that watch because they see the veterans and the people that are doing it on a high level, and they feel like sometimes they can't state that because it's like some type of weakness, but actually everyone says if you're going to go on stage, if you're going to get in front of the camera, that those butterflies kind of help you in certain ways to kind of get that out before you go perform.
Yeah, I mean, I think the extent to which you're nervous is the extent to which you care. Anything that costs you something, anything that has high stakes. You know what I mean? I think if you had like conversely, if you had this kind of doled over like numb feeling, that maybe it's not something that's lighting your fire. But the nerves are absolutely always there. But I like to out prepare the nerves. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And then I kind of play this kind of like a mind game with myself, like if I'm going to go in a scene with like a Will Smith or like a Bruce Willis or or like a Natalie Portman, I say to myself, okay, here's the deal. You usually I come in for a couple scenes and they have a whole movie to carry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like I kind of tell myself to psych myself up. No one is as intimately prepared for this one scene or these couple scenes I am. So I kind of like kind of competitive fire in my heart that's like, okay, motherfucker, like you're like I know that you're number one on the call sheet, and you're the one that but you need to know that in this scene that I'm the one that you better keep up with. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like psych myself up,
I love that. I love that. And speaking of that, this is one that I've been getting a lot lately. And I didn't even, to be honest, it's been a while since I saw the movie. Speaking of like kind of a similar scene, this shot right here with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like, speak a little bit about this, because again, this is a part in Dark Knight Rises.
This is Dark Knight Rises, and we shot that in 2010. 2010. That particular shot we shot at the New York Stock Exchange on a Saturday, and it was one of the only, it was the first blizzard of the year, and it was freezing, and it was like the one day that it could not snow, and it blizzarded, and yeah, man, that was a trip. Listen, the movie that preceded that was The Dark Knight, which was just epic. So it was like I can't even believe that I'm going to be in The Dark Knight Rises. So I shot and the thing with with Christopher Nolan, because he shoots on whatever he shoots on, IMAX or whatever. Let's say you're shooting for like a day, you got to be there for a week. And I had a few different scenes, so I would fly out to like New York. And even though I was only shooting a day, I had to be there for 2 weeks. I'd fly out to Pittsburgh. Even though I'm only shooting a day, I have to be there for 2 weeks. So, I accrued a lot of time. And man, when it came out, I was just so just like nervous about like, am I going to make the cut? And if I'm going to make the cut, am I any good? Everyone was saying it's going to be the biggest movie in the world. Like, they're saying it's going to be the biggest opening ever. And then I remember watching the ticker and on CNN, and it said that Aurora, Colorado had a shooting at a Dark Knight Rises thing on that.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
And that is, no pun intended, that's fucking dark. Like, damn, awful. And it was just like, I mean, I don't think people kind of like when they think about these trilogy of movies of Chris Nolan's that were so great, they don't remember that was like opening weekend, opening night.
Yeah. No, I forgot about that.
Yeah. In Colorado, and then there was all this here. Not to bring this interview to a dark.
No.
And the speculation was this guy was dressed like Bane, like all sorts. Not great.
Wow.
They canceled all the premieres, like all the subsequent screenings. It was bad, but it was fun. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, it was super, super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
So tell me about Love That Guy. Tell me about the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, we do the pitch of the podcast is, me and my buddies, we watch these movies and we say, oh shit, I love that guy. That's an older podcast, but we'd say,
okay.
We love that guy. Like, when you watch something and you can't quite say their name, but you're like, what's that guy's name? Fuck,
yes.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that was the whole thing. We're the show that celebrates the journeyman actors, the ones know and love, the ones we see in film and television, and even though we might not always know their names, inevitably I love that guy. So we have to have actors that are like those faces.
That's brilliant.
That I know it's going to be out there. Stephen Ogg, a bunch of good people. So
that is amazing, because again, I've said that for years, and I have to follow it more, but I've said that I love those actors more than any of a lot of the A-list actors, but I would always have, as a filmmaker, I'd always have lists of actors, great actors like David Morse and Michael Madsen, and a lot of even the Stanley Tucci's that people know. But again, they're not talked about like Tom Cruise or Dwayne Johnson or whatever. But they put out amazing work. And for years, I'll give a wish list of actors. People are like, well, who's this and who's that? And I'm like, but then once you show the face, the Green Mile, the dude that was in, yeah. And then everyone knows immediately as soon as you see. But again, that's
Yeah,
brilliant there. That
William Sanderson for me is one of those guys too that isn't like a household name, but he's been in a million things, and you're like, I have to show his face to a lot of people when I say, I'm William Sanderson, he's great.
See,
yeah, there's a lot of those.
Right now thinking I know the name, but I can't think of the face, so I'm going to Google this guy real quick. William Sanderson. Hold on.
Oh, you know it. Yeah, I mean, he's been in like everything. But,
Daryl.
yeah.
And it's a celebration. These guys that don't get celebrated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, love that guy. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's in Deadwood and a bunch of other shit too. Yeah, even more recently. Yeah.
Yes. So speak a little bit about, like I said, one of my favorite films, Joe, because it's such an intense film. Like it's not the easiest watch, but again, played such an intensity with you in the lead character and obviously Nicolas Cage. But speak a little bit about that process, because this is a movie that again that I still am telling people about, like even now, like not that one, but I still am telling people about like today. So.
Thanks, man. That was great. That was I was doing a movie with Josh Stewart in West Virginia. So we didn't even get that much service up there, but I'd gotten this call that the director wanted to see me for this Nick Cage film with David Gordon Green. And so I kind of, my head was elsewhere, but I was playing like we were in the country. And so I kind of just put this thing on tape, real quick. Director liked me, wanted to meet me, and we kind of had these conversations. And then I had heard like, listen, it's between you and this other guy, right? So I was like, okay. So I started thinking, what can I do? Short of like calling the director, David Gordon Green, and being like, hey man,
yeah.
I'm fun to be around. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, I mean,
yeah.
Thing, right? So I okay, well, here's what I can do. I can take all the other scenes that are in the movie and put them on tape. And I knew that I was on a time, there's a time frame that I had to do it. So I took these and I was doing it on like the original version of an iPhone 7. Because we shot that like a year after Dark Knight Rises. So it was like an old iPhone in my closet, no good lighting, no one reading opposite lines. Like, and then like he texted me, hey, Willie Russell, give me a call. Like, I knew I'd gotten it. And then that proceeded to be like the great experience, because I was very proud of the movie. I got to know David. I got to know Nick Cage really well. We went to, South by Southwest. We went to Venice, Italy together. And man, he's my all-time favorite fun hang. Nick Cage.
Oh, I bet. I can only imagine. Yeah.
There it is.
Make him laugh, And the first time I met him, like we were at in the makeup trailer, and I was like nervous to say, I was like, "Hey, so Nick, how you liking the weather? Or how you liking?" and he looks at me, and goes, "Well, it's work." And so I was gonna be. But as it unfolded and we would get into the scene work, and I had that kind of like that attitude about me, like, no, you better bring it. And then I started to get his respect. And then from that point forward, he's just always been a total sweetheart and very kind to me. And I love him. I love Nick. I love seeing his comeback. And I've always, listen, for a while, I wouldn't go to the movie theaters unless it was a Nick Cage movie. Mm-hmm. I think we live in a time when all these actors are just like are just like so efficient that like this hyper naturalism. To me, he's always been punk rock, and I tell you what, he's one of my favorites.
Awesome. Well, I mean, tell us about working on Death Wish as well. 2018 with another big name there as well.
Death Wish, that was amazing. That was Eli Roth, and that was a lot of fun. Bruce Willis was amazing, and we shot that in Montreal, and then we also shot some of it in Chicago, a suburb of Illinois, just outside of Chicago. But it was great, man. I've probably told the story, but that scene right there you're looking at, there's at the end of that, and it was in the trailer. Bruce Willis like he walks away. He has a chain tied to that jack, right? And he goes, I go, you're not going to kill me? And he goes, no, Jack is. And he pulls the jack on my head.
Yeah.
The head crashes, like the head smashes, and you see it on camera. And then he was like, and then Roger Birnbaum, the producer, he's like, it's fun to let the directors think they're going to be able to keep these things. And I said, oh, you don't think you're going to be able to keep the head crashing? And he goes, no, it'll never get past the ratings board. And later on, I went to Eli. I said, yeah, Roger doesn't seem to think that shots in the movie. He's like, Ronnie, if it's the only shot in the movie, it's staying in the movie,
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
That's Eli. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Very, very dope. Very. So I spoke to you a little bit beforehand about an independent film that I know a little bit about because it was shot at a production office years ago in Wayne, PA. And I didn't even know the movie was actually happening, that Peter Odeorn and them were doing it. But it ended up being submitted to the Philadelphia Independent Film Festival that I was working at the time. Okay. And then I kind of realized some of the locale, and I was like, wait a minute. Then I saw it was local filmmakers, and it's a movie right here called The Middle of X. Yep. And there's a shot from it there, you and amazing cast. And like I told you prior, friend of mine, Kate Beaver's in it, has a part in it. And so tell us a little bit about that experience on this independent film, like how long it was shot, like was it really quick, fast-paced thing, like over a short period of time?
Let me say a couple things about that. One, I remember Kate Beaver coming and doing this scene, and I thought, who the hell is she? She is so funny. She's just so like fiery, and like, I was like, oh, dude, she's great, man. She is a great, funny actress, and I'm a big fan of hers. That was just one of those things that came. I think I was with a management company called Luber Rockland at the time, and I think Peter, who's become a really good friend of mine. I've worked with him on another movie since. I think he went to Luber Rockland and was like, hey, I need help me cast this movie. And it was all Luber Rockland clients. And as I remember, I was like, I feel like it had been like a long stint of me not working. So when they called, I was like, yep, let's go. Let's do it. And the great thing about Peter is, he's a great writer, but he's also a great editor, So he's a good filmmaker. He's a great director because he's a great writer and he's a great editor. I'm a big fan of Peter. He's, and me and Peter had knocked down argument. We've had some pretty big arguments. And I really Peter. I just love everything about him. He makes me laugh.
And what I just want to say about this too, just a little bit before we move on, is that what I loved about this too is that I'd seen you play so many heavies. Yeah. I'd seen you play in this movie. This is a coming of age. Like, it starts with the young versions of these characters, then it moves forward to their 30s-ish or whatever. And Ronnie is this character, this cool cat, but it's like it was a totally different side of of what I was used to seeing. Ronnie Gene Blevins on, and you kill it with such like a cool kind of smooth leading man type bravado. So I just want to give you props for that.
Thanks, man.
Again, I'd seen you kill people and like be the bad guy so many times, and I was like, this is awesome seeing him kind of being the smoking and kind of being the cool, like that James Dean kind of bravado type character that kind of carries it throughout this film. So give you props for that, my friend.
And that means a lot to me because they don't let you do a lot of things. Like, once they want you to do what you've already done the past 5 times. And the trap is that acting pays. Here's the thing about the acting: it pays well, right? It pays really well, and they don't give you a lot of chances to do it. So that equates to just kind of working when it comes. You know what I mean? Like, every now and again you get these little grooves where you can be a little indiscriminate, or I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But there's certainly been things where I was like, how could I not turn it down because the money's so good, but I probably should have not done it. And as a result of doing it, I had some financial comfort for a while, but the aftermath I paid for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
But when before the money was good, I I have to ask because I'm a Full Moon fan, and I totally forgot that you. I mean, it says here that you were in Bleed with Debbie Rochon and and Julie Strain and Bring Stevens and shit. And
Yeah.
I remember renting that when I was younger. But yeah, because I was a huge Full Moon fan growing up. But that's fine. So was that one of your first films?
Yeah, man. And it was like, I mean, that was like, I didn't even
Did
really
you
know.
even get paid on that?
I first something, but yeah, that was one of those things that was like, yeah, one of my first. But this was the last year. Okay, this must have been in 2000. Like, I don't know. Let's just say it's 2003. I don't know, but like before everything, Blockbuster was
Yeah.
at its apex, right?
Yeah.
And I forget if Full Moon Charlie Band.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he had an output deal with Blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
So, and keep in mind, this is like 2003. I had just moved to LA 3 years prior, so I was like 20 something. I was in the middle of my like my learning to act thing. So I kind of got on this movie, and I mean, I obviously auditioned, so I got the part, but none of us were on top of our game on that movie. You know? But I swear to God, like, but I remember going home for Christmas, you know, and then like I'm like, I think this movie Bleed comes out today, and taking my family to Blockbuster. This one aisle, every single, like the whole wall was Bleed, and like
he was great. Yeah. So I'm telling you that the post, I mean the cover art in that was he always focused on cover art that grabbed you. For
yeah,
that
man,
specific
all
movie, it's
white.
like you want to catch their eye when they're walking down the video aisle, obviously. But I'll never forget that when that came out because of that cool ass cover, man.
Yeah, unfortunately though.
Yeah. But that's just like with all of them, man. As soon as you take it home and watch it, it's a different story. But
Yeah. So
yeah, but it must have been a cool learning experience, right?
yeah. So who's that? Is that Lloyd Kaufman? You're probably a big Lloyd Kaufman guy.
I'm not. I'm a Charlie Band guy. I'm an Empire Films and Full Moon aficionado guy. Like that's what I grew up on and obsessed with, and that's what made me get into filmmaking was his marketing brain behind that. I mean, I never really got into the trauma stuff, but yeah, Full Moon was like big ideas on no budget. Like that was motivated.
You can see me and my jaw's shaking because it's a cold tub, you know.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you something, from a personal side, because a lot of actors that have been in acting for a while and they kind of have a groove going, and then they kind of experience like childbirth and having their first child.
Yeah.
How did that change Ronnie? Like as you're an actor, and then this happens as like a pivotal moment in your life with your son.
Well, it's wild because you talked about Death Wish. When my son was 1 week old, there he is, my sweet boy. He's now 8.
That's awesome.
I had to go shoot Death Wish in Montreal, so that was hard. How does it? It's a really good question. I mean, I think that it just, if anything, it makes you a better actor because. When you have a kid, everything I cry all the time now because I can't see anything in my life without good or bad, without contextualizing it with my son. You know what I mean? I can't see a kid at 12 and not think of Leo at 12. I can't see a man at 40 with a 70-year-old dad thinking about me at 70 with a boy at 40. You know what I mean? Anything. I see someone in pain. I see a kid in 20s and who's in his 20s who's in pain. I think about the pain he's going to go through. And all along the spectrum. So having all that emotion at the surface, I think it made me a better actor. On a more logistic side, it's probably forced me to take some things that I might not otherwise take because gotta keep the lights on.
Yeah.
It's I just couldn't imagine, like I don't have any children, but I just couldn't imagine, like, kind of again rolling along in your career and all the ebb and flows of it, and then this amazing responsibility comes to you, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like I can't mess this up. You can mess your career up sometimes and take wrong roles or do things or whatever that you probably shouldn't have, but that's something that you kind of got to get right. So,
bro, you mess it up every single day. You know what I mean? Like it's you. The thing with kids is particularly young kids, is the parents, until they go to school, are the center of their whole world. So you're a reflection of them. So whatever you love about them that's good, and whatever about them that is bad or misbehaved, they're all a reflection on you. So if you get upset with your son because he has a temper, then you have to look at your own temper. You know what I mean? Because they're a reflection of you. So in that regard, there's no greater teacher than your children, really. So
as long as you're paying attention. I mean, I see it all the time. I have a 9-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy, and boy, oh boy, So anyway, tell us about your this. I guess this is your first con experience with us, or have you done any meet and greets or autograph signs before?
I'm excited. I've never done anything like it.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I hope people will come out. I have had a couple of people that say they want to, they're interested in passing. I don't know if they're serious, but just excited to get out there. I know Stephen Ogg and Tommy Howell, and there's a few people out, Augie Duke. There's a few people out there that are friends of mine that I'm excited about the hang. I'm excited about hanging out with you guys. It's going to be a fun time,
Absolutely.
And again, like this is we say this a million times in all of the shows, but we try to handpick people that we want to either want to work with, B want to hang out with. I mean, that's how we pick the celebrities for this convention to begin with. I mean, we really feel that this is a great group of people, or they were recommended by the people who are already on the convention.
Right.
Which happen quite a bit. People don't realize that. We don't tell that, to everybody. But so I think it's a great group of people. First and foremost, I think we're all going to have a great time. Yeah,
and it's pretty. I love the fact that it's I don't think the great thing about what you guys are doing, you're not pigeonholing yourself with having it be something so uber specific. You know what I mean? It's listen. I can't wait to go out there and say what's up to Tommy. I know hopefully he's still playing, go hang out, or go to Richard Tyson, I mean, these are all guys.
Rich is dope. Listen, he's looking forward to it too. And we talked to Carrie, his wife, all the time, and they're excited to meet, everybody that they haven't seen either in a while, or just also other actors and actresses that they admire, which is cool. But I haven't spoken to Steven recently, but I definitely have asked, Sarah about getting him on a show like this too. But he's over, I guess he's abroad right now. I can't wait to see you guys together too. And I want to see the reactions of, the guests meeting each other for the first time or meeting each other again. So that'll be cool. But we'll have some. It'll be a blast for sure. So have you ever been to Atlantic City before, or the New Jersey, or? Okay, Jersey. Cool. So that's it. Yeah.
But never. I mean, cool. I'm excited. I have friends out there. My good buddy Octavio Pisano. He's one of the leads of SUV. He's out. He lives in Jersey. I mean, it's going to be great. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback a little bit about what you just said about the lineup, is because it kind of harkens back to your podcast, because it's like there's a lot of people, even when we started, people are like, well, would make certain digs like, I don't know some of these people. And I'm like, well, you should. And that's why we're doing this podcast, like to let people know like about the amazing talent. If you don't know who Teresa Palmer is, or Ronnie Gene Blevins, or Augie Duke, or even if you don't remember Sherilyn Fenn or Dana Ashbrook or whatever, these are all amazing talents. Miguel Nunez Jr., like all these different people, Dominic Lombardozzi, like these are people that are amazing, great, top-notch talents, and that's kind of what we wanted to put together, a collection of people that would just kill it every time they get on screen. And we have ultimate respect for. It's not about like the people who are at a convention every weekend, which there's no problem with that, but we also want to bring something a little different and have a kind of a diverse lineup of people that are all good people that can come together and like have a good time. And that's what the mission statement was from the beginning when I was discussing this with Mark Weber, who's a good friend of mine for a long time. Who again is somebody, when I say the name, people are like, who's that? And then when they see Scott Pilgrim versus the World, they're like, oh, okay. I've seen that guy before and a lot of stuff or whatever. Different. Yeah.
Gonna come out because like you mentioned Dana and Cheryl Lynn or like what I mean, like okay, like I mean Twin Peaks is a freaking obsession, you know what I mean? And I actually did the new Twin Peaks, but it's an obsession with people, you know what I mean? It has them. So I would expect that you're gonna get like a probably because it's modern times and everyone likes to wait. I imagine that like right before like it's going to get like a pop.
That's what everybody's saying. That's what everybody's saying. If that's the case, then we're going to do better than expected because it's already been going very well. So, and at the same time, we were like, people keep telling us, listen, there's going to be a lot of people since it is like this, the inaugural one too. Like people are like, well, let's just wait to see if anybody cancels or blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to, book a weekend in Atlantic City if people are going to be canceling. So they're going to wait till the last minute for that. But also the fact that there's so many factors. But either way, it's going to be, dude, I can't wait to meet you, my man. And it's going to be awesome. We want to talk about working with you too. And
and anytime anyone reaches out to me, I'll send them your way. As far as getting out there,
Awesome. So Ronnie, we do this near the end of every show, and this is fun. I pull some photos that I found interesting from Google or from different places, and I pull them up, and then you just tell me what comes to your mind, like whether it's funny or whatever. And because again, there's a lot of interesting pictures that came up, and we'll just have what's that.
Like a word association?
No, just like whatever comes up,
discuss it.
It's just something like again a picture of what it represents to you or whatever, and whatever pops in your head. Like I just kind of got interesting ones, and some of them are just more. Some of them might be a scene from a specific movie that I'm not as familiar with, but I was like, wow, what is this that I haven't seen that I want to know about? So, but the first one is not that. The first one is an interesting shot here. That there you go, bam. This guy here, let's get ready for it. This guy's about to go to the Olympics and do some powerlifting here. So what's going on here, Ronnie?
That was when I first moved out to LA. That's back in the day, like this is over 20 years ago. Headshots were still black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in acting class. That was my very first headshot, and then like I got this photographer and then like I didn't really kind of fall into my casting until probably about 5-6 years after. This is 2001, very green, very new to LA, Ronnie.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's cool.
So this is also new to LA, Ronnie too, because this is a different look than that, which is right there. Bam.
Yeah, this is probably 2005. 2006. Well, no one's hiring me, so what if I shave my head off?
Okay. There you go.
We're in the ballpark in 2006, right?
Oh yeah.
Because I was getting a little more opportunities. I started working just a very little bit, but I hadn't quite cracked it yet.
Gotcha. So what does this represent right here? Bam.
That represents a Western I did. Never came out, but it was a great Western. But on that Western, I met my beautiful wife.
Oh, cool.
I met her and fell in love with her on the first day. Been together ever since. And now we have a son together.
Awesome. Okay, so what did you do in this episode of this show right here?
That's True Blood. And I play a werewolf. And I got scenes with Ryan Quanten.
Yes.
And Chris Bauer. I worked with Chris Bauer and the two. That was a lot of fun. I could tell you real quick. Alan Ball wanted me to wear that wig with a mullet, and I don't know what I was thinking because I kind of fought him on it. About vanity. think to myself, I would kill to wear like a big mullet like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
like a lot of these shows, man, it's like super uber popular. And you're like, wait a minute,
Absolutely.
staying on like the most popular show on TV.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So this shot here features another of my favorite actors out there for a long time, and you you and Theo Rossi there. What's
Theo,
this from?
Theo's great. We did a movie called Squealer. I played Squealer. He plays the drug dealer Danny, and that was great. A beautiful friendship. Theo blossomed out of that. Theo's been a good friend, you know, and a bit of there's Wes Chatham and Tyrese
Gibson. Yes, yep. Awesome.
They were great, man. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So this is another one that I forgive me, I don't know anything about, but I saw a lot of interesting photos online. So tell us a little bit about American Cowslip. That's you and obviously Val Kilmer there. So tell us a little bit about this film here.
Val Kilmer plays my brother in this film. This is 2007. Now, if you notice in that picture, that's Val Kilmer, Rip Torn, Peter Falk, Bruce Dern, Cloris Leach, and myself.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
I've been in LA for 7 years, and no one's hiring me. I'm studying. I'm getting good. No one's hiring me, so I'm going to go write and produce this movie. This is the movie that I wrote and produced.
Oh shit!
$1 million.
Nice.
You know, it was. I think it was a little. We kind of made it as this kind of like Tim Burton larger than life thing, and I don't know if people really quite bought into the tone. I don't know, but that was kind of. I can tell you a story real quick. I know we got to wrap this up.
Sure. Oh no, please,
No,
please.
we're good. We're good.
I was thrown to the wolves on American Cosmic. I wrote it, but you know, we're like, is Val Kilmer going to show up? All these people, and they all showed up, right? And remember, I'm doing the first scene, okay? And let this be a lesson to anyone who's like new, young actor, right? Because I had all this training, but like we're shooting the first scene, and I remember feeling like a bad actor, like it wasn't connecting, right? And it was a phone call, very first scene, and I'm like, I don't know, I just felt, and then I kind of felt the vibe of the crew, and I was like, and then I had this inner voice saying, listen, until you work it out, just react like you would react. You know what I mean? So I did the phone call, and I just said these lines like I would react, and like, okay, it was authentic. And then from that gave me the confidence, you know, from that scene to kind of add these layers. And then it turned into this character, which was really proud of the character. But I remember having this moment and then thinking to myself, and I still apply it today. If all else fails and every bit of technique leaves you, authenticity, just react the way you'd react. You know what I mean? Whatever the line is.
Great advice for actors out there watching. Awesome. This last one here is I'd like to know a little bit about this project here, because this looks kind of interesting here. Like, what is this project? Is it a Western or it's this
is a short Western I did with a great group of guys, and it's actually really good. But yeah, I'm blanking on the name of it. It was, oh my God, it was called, Christ, I'm forgetting the name.
Okay. Yeah. No, so it's a short film though. It's okay, cool.
Yeah. But real quick, just for anybody wondering, because we just talked about American Cowslip, it is on Tubi if anyone wants to watch it for reference.
Or if you want to streamline it even quicker, it's free on YouTube.
Well, hey.
I just found there's two more. I found this picture that's not you, but I found this picture on one of your sites and just wondered like what this represented right here, because this is just like a cool black and white shot. Like,
that is just a. I don't know what I don't know what it represents. I don't know what that's from, but I like it. It's just a crazy old bastard saying "fuck the world."
Gotcha. Okay. So this is self-explanatory, but I just wanted to show it because it represents something near and dear to be here. We're all Rocky here. I think we all have some Rocky Balboa in us to be in this crazy business. So that's a cool shot. Was this when you were in PA shooting Middle of X or during that time frame?
This is myself and Bree Blair and another guy, Jason. we were doing the running up the steps like all the tourists do, and everyone laughing at us, and that was a really, really good time. And I love it. Let me tell you, you go to these places like Pennsylvania, Florida, and you think, why the fuck? Pardon my language. Why the hell aren't these are under photographed places? Why is everyone not shooting in these places? They're so beautiful. Same thing with America's just so beautiful, and there's underexploited places. And then you oftentimes, and I'm not speaking about Pennsylvania because we shot Batman and Dark Knight Rises in Pittsburgh, but a lot of times it has to do with the tax incentives not being what they need to be, which oftentimes has to do with the leadership. A lot of times, if it's a Republican leadership, they won't have tax incentives, and Democratic leadership, they will have tax incentives, and that's not a knock on either. It really is. It doesn't seem to be much of a pitching, pitch to the fiscal conservative, but I tell you what, when they do when they do get those tax incentives, you get these opportunities to see some of these beautiful movies like Florida masterpiece, like one of the greatest masterpieces in the last 2 decades, Moonlight. You get to see Florida.
Absolutely. So bonus question, because to piggyback off of American Cowslip, so is there more writing and directing in Ronnie's future? Is that something that you want to delve more into along with the acting as your career moves forward?
Yes, 100%. I'm writing something now. I want to direct it. I think it's going to be great. Yeah. And then also, by the way, just so I'm mentioning it, I did this Apple show that comes out on July 19th called Lady in the Lake with Natalie Portman.
Awesome.
And I think it's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be so good. Watch it. I'm telling you, by the time we all meet up the end of July, there'll probably be 3 episodes already aired. It's going to be so good. So good.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that was one of the things, like what's coming up. So is that anything else besides that there, or no, that's great. No, that was perfect to show the book. And so we always want to kind of give a shout out to what's upcoming. People can look out from you. So.
That's a big one. That's a big one. And yeah, there's a movie I did, Long Shadows, directed by William Shockley. I did that with a bunch of great actors, and Dermot Mulroney was in that, and Jacqueline Bisset, and
cool.
a lot of great actors, and the lead of that, Blaine, was amazing. But there's no date on that yet. But the big thing I'm looking forward to is this Apple show, and because it's directed by Alma Harrell, who directed Honey.
Oh yes, Shia LaBeouf. Yes, I love that. Yeah,
she's the absolute greatest director I've ever worked with. I mean, I could speak for hours on how great she is. So.
I was very impressed sitting in the theater watching that film about Shia's life. That's intensity right there. So yeah, keep an eye out for this. Definitely this Apple show. It's Lady in the Lake, correct?
Lady in the Lake.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ronnie and Natalie Portman. Yeah, I think I actually saw a promo like last week, and I was like, "What is this?" And again, some things just draw you in, and that was one of the things that, again, just drew me in because I don't always watch trailers because sometimes they mess things up, especially for movies. But that for a show, I was like, okay, there was this, and there was a Colin Farrell show that I stopped and kind of watched the trailer for, and I was like, okay, all right, I can dig these two, so I'll be watching. So Ronnie, my final question that I ask every guest is, and you've imparted some wisdom already in this episode, but we have a lot of actors, filmmakers, like screenwriters that are watching, and we just always ask to leave some either words of wisdom or words of like knowledge to like in this crazy business. Some people will say run, or if you're not passionate about it, you think you're just going to be famous, then again, we all know better than that. I've been in this for 25 years almost, and as an actor, stunt person, filmmaker, and again, it's tough, but again, just impart some words of wisdom to people watching this.
I mean, I would just say cream rises, and if you're not getting the opportunities you want, you're not getting the jobs you want. If you take the perspective that the onus is always on yourself to get better, then that's going to go a long way. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people you can blame at any given time, but that doesn't serve you. You take the power back by putting it all on yourself and saying, how can I get better? How can I continue to get better? And the good news, bad news thing, like I say, listen, if there's a young actor who's getting into it, and if there's something else that makes you happy, I say, then do that. That's good news, because you know what I mean? Because because then you can be happy doing something that's not nearly impossible to execute and sustain.
Yeah.
Conversely, if you're stuck and there's nothing else you could ever do, which I believe that was kind of what's driven me for so long, is because I had that real experience graduating from college and feeling absolutely gutted that this was life, before I realized, I need life is art and art is life, and that's what's going to sustain my happiness. Conversely, if you're stuck, then then there's nothing you can do. So you might as well be continuously try to be as good as you can.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
You hear that, everybody? Be as good as you can and get perseverance, and the cream does rise to the top, because again, it's a lot of hard work and study too. Like, a lot of people think that there's just fame around the corner, and because they heard a couple stories in the past that Leonardo DiCaprio or James Vanderbeek got famous overnight, which was not true. So it's like, and it's never true. Like, even the ones like Will Smith that got Fresh Prince off of being a rapper, he had to train to be able to sustain that acting ability to get the 6 degrees of separation and get to all of the future films. So there is no easy route to success in acting.
No, and let me tell you, there's no one that's Will Smith is always learning. You know what I mean? Always. You know. Yeah. So, are you guys Phillies fans?
I am a Phillies fan. Yes, yes, I am. Are we winning?
No, I only focus on the Astros. And we're not winning.
Oh, okay. So we're in different places. He's in Massachusetts. I'm South Jersey, Philly region. Yeah. So totally different. But you're not even a Boston fan, though. So.
No, I'm not. No, clearly not a Boston fan. No.
Yeah. What does that say?
That's a Bucks logo, dude. Yeah. $10 million.
And your baseball team is what?
Baseball teams. I'm a Giants fan. San Francisco Giants fan. I grew up a Giants fan. I grew up in baseball. I grew up a Buccaneers fan in football, and not local.
So you're an Astro for life, like you're a Texas boy, right? So you're all Texas teams, though, or do you still follow the Rangers and like the old Oilers back in the day, and now the Texans?
It's just Houston teams.
Just Houston.
But I do follow players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, me and my son, like Nico Collins. He just has this Nico Collins. Who's coming up big for the Texans right now.
Oh yeah.
And we like to trade cards, me and my son, and we were trading cards with Nico Collins, and I was like, this could, because he had a kind of a coming out year this last year.
Oh yeah, they're looking good. They're. I even looked at them a couple weeks ago. They had a good year last year, but they're a team to be careful of, because they're stacked there. There's some. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. So that's awesome. So again, Ronnie, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to see you guys next month.
Where can we find you on social media, Ronnie, for anybody that wants to check you out?
Blevins 70. Ronnie Gene Blevins is my name. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, without further ado, everybody, this fantastic actor, you'll be able to meet him July 25th to the 28th in Atlantic City at the Atlantic City Celebrity Convention. The awesome Ronnie Gene Blevins. Thank you for joining us on Brantim Live tonight.
Thank you, guys. So fun. All right.
Take care. Have a good night, buddy.
Have a great night.